the sweet life.
This is another question that came to the door, and I'm going to put it into something else on it. How does this massive existential writing and the notion of black men, loving black men as the revolutionary acts apply today? How can we continue to promote this among the new generations of young black gay men? And the thing that I want to put on this is, while I was watching the film, something came up. I was like, who are the is there a prominent gay black couple? And I could not think of one. Not for one. And well, I want to stand up that way. We will applaud you.
I don't consider my husband and I as prominent. And I think that's an important piece in all of this. It's that I think what it does is hierarchize, that's a word, some relationships over others, you know, and I think that we have to value all the relationships that exist in our community, their diversity, their variety, their whatever they are, you know, and not privilege certain kinds of relationships over others. And visibility is important, and my husband and I think are. That's Jody. But we are visible. You know, it's 2 years. We'll be married this June. July was 2 years. We were married by David Dinkins, and that was an intentional thing for us because he is an ally, and that we've done some work in the community to make marriage, I think, something more accessible for Black LGBT people. Because I'm of the mind that we can multitask, and marriage isn't the enemy. It's just an option, and you know, and we should have the right to that option. You know, and that's all it's about, is whether or not we get the right to be able to do that. And all the responsibilities and the freedoms that come along with it. You know, so the idea of, you know, these other issues that are more important or significant or whatever, and that marriage gets put over here, why don't we have a conversation about the intersectionality of these things? Because, you know, we got Black gay folks who are having Diana Ross perform at their 3-day weddings. You know, I mean, if you want to call them prominent, whatever, I don't care. You know, I mean, ours was certainly far more subdued. But, you know, I think that what is happening is that people are using social media to demonstrate that marriage in our community matters. And that, you know, you see people getting married on YouTube, others, you know, the gay male couples and lesbian couples, whatever. Folks are getting married in our community. And it does mean something. And we should support every kind of relationship that exists.
Yes. That question is how people fire up.
I'm sorry,
I'm Steve.
That's Steve.
I'm on an email.
That's Thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm going to definitely comment directly to that. I do believe that as Black people that we can multitask. I do believe that as Black people, we can do it and do it all with it, right? But with that said, it's my belief, and this is completely my statement, that marriage is very important because it's about equal rights. But at the same time, if I don't have a job, I can pay for that way. You know, because what I'm saying is, I personally feel that a lot of that action, you know, it's been about marriage. And we have to, as Black people, really should say, like, what are our priorities? And I feel like, I personally feel, you know, stability, you know, social economic problems that we have as a community are some of the greater problems. So for me, I'm all about equality. I would want to find a husband, and I want to be a power couple, but I'm saying, you know, at the end of the day.
But, you know, this room brought up the issue about recognition and couples and all of that stuff. So it does mean something to people, you know. And there is an economic component. You know, poor people want to get married too, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have big weddings and churches, what have you. You know, City Hall works and it's not that expensive.
That's one thing. I think
I'm going to stop tweeting and going to talk out here, right? So I think that what we have to be careful about with marriage is, I think to some extent, you're right? That often the conversation about marriage probably has been about, we just want to get married. I think that we as black folks, I can speak as a black man, as a black gay man, we have to bring our voice to the conversation about marriage equality. We have to connect the dots. And so I think where I sort of fall, may differ from you a bit, is that it's not enough to say we can't talk about marriage equality. And I don't think you're saying that. When we talk about marriage, we have to say in the same breath that we are being, we have these horrible experiences with our churches. We have to talk about unemployment. We have to talk about stop and frisk. But I think what the problem is that we don't connect the dots. We want to run away from the conversation about marriage. We need to run to it, but we need to run to it with our full bodies and our full selves. And I think that's what needs to happen.